Alright, timestamp May 25th, 2025. About 1 p.m. Um, Health check. I think I'm almost done with this schmutz, whatever this is. Um, for those of you who just tuned in, I was diagnosed with COPD emphysema last May, June. Mild. You know, it was kind of a fluke that the doc found it. The doc was just doing a basic checkup, blah, blah, blah. Everything was going good. Doing the whole, breathe in, breathe out. And everything was okay. And then on one of the breaths, she was like, wait a minute. I feel like I hear a little bit of a whistle or a wheeze. Maybe. I'm not sure. And we did the breathing thing, and she's like, I heard it again, but not every time. So sent me in for a CT scan, and yeah. Emphysema. Which was terrifying. Still is, But the doc that gave me the news about a month later, because they were very slow in getting back to me in the results. I actually had to go in. I was having panic attacks because I'm like looking up all the different things that it could be, and I'm like, oh my god, am I dying? What happened? And one of the other docs in the same clinic came out and he was like, well, it's emphysema. It is a terminal illness, but you're going to be okay. It's manageable. It was like, okay, you just put terminal and manageable in like the same paragraph, and I'm like, I know what these words mean. I don't know how I feel about that. And he's like, well, you're obviously you haven't been on oxygen. You can walk around for an hour or 2 hours without being like out of breath or whatnot. It's like, so obviously you're kind of in the mild area. So as long as you do the right thing, this may not even be what kills you. Like, okay, so I have a sort of Damocles kind of thing going on, but as long as I'm not an idiot, which this past year I've continued smoking, although I've cut way back, a little bit of idiot there, but there have been reasons, and if you've been watching my channel, you know some of the deets on that. So, buried my mom a few days ago. Not me, because that would have made me out of breath. Service was good. I mean, it wasn't anything fancy. She didn't want anything fancy. It's really weird being able to say my mom is dead. That's new and exciting. Okay, and we're coming up on. I'm gonna do drugs on the internet. It's 1 o'clock in the afternoon. As of now, I'm one of that weird 10-20% that actually gets drowsy with the orange stuff and doesn't get drowsy with the green stuff. I figured that out in high school. Weirdest damn thing. My mom would give me Dayquil and send me to school if I wasn't feeling well, and I'd fall asleep in class all day long. She'd give me NyQuil before bed, and I'm watching the 2 a.m. movie on channel 44. Yeah, so I'm that guy. Apparently, there is a 10 or 20% factor of the population that is like that. I don't understand it, but we're drinking some green stuff in the afternoon because this won't put me to sleep. But the orange stuff would. I don't know. It's all very strange. Anyway, cheers. That's the stuff. Yeah. Hit me. Kidding. Oh. Yeah. So, don't do drugs, okay? Drugs are bad. Okay. So, yeah. I'm sure I've damaged my lungs a little bit over the past year just because, duh. Um, but I don't think I've done any excessive damage to my lungs in the respect of, I think what's going on with me right now is this lung infection, chest cold, whatever. I hope it's not a lung infection. Something mild like walking pneumonia. Whatever, shrug it off. I'm a Gen Xer, rub dirt in your lungs and walk it off. But no, I think I'm starting to rebound finally after started noticing that I was getting sick on the 9th. Mom died on the 8th, and we got Dad to the hospital, the VA, on the 8th. And apparently on the 9th, because Kelly, started feeling kind of crappy too, and so did Chuck the Wonder Idiot. We were all at the VA at the same time, the same place. So I'm kind of wondering who we breathed. They both have shrugged it off. That's another thing with COPD, emphysema, whatnot. Because I normally have, not like, Wolverine or Deadpool healing capabilities. But I normally heal and recover very quickly. But apparently with COPD, that will affect respiratory healing. I'm going to be slower to heal on that than other people will. And the possibility of it becoming more severe is more severe. Which seems pretty severe. So yeah, that part of my system is not great and needs constant maintenance observation. But I'm 54, so I still look fairly good, I think. Most people don't guess that I'm 54, so they usually think I'm in my 40s, maybe. I'll take it, Harry and David Vanilla Cream Brulee, kind of one of the staples around here, which tastes really weird after a shot of the green stuff. It may not have been so satisfying after all. I got some OJ on tap too. It's good. Yeah. Feel the burn. Just doing general maintenance around the house. I'm at Leonardo Station. I've been all alone here for a few days now. I'm starting to get crazy. Doing laundry, high heat, bagging it, and because catch everybody up in case you're really not aware of what's going on. My dad is currently in temporary placement, waiting for VA long-term placement because the dementia is real, and he can't be home for a couple of reasons. One, he is kind of a suicide risk because Mom. He's been placed in the imminent risk, imminent danger category with dementia. It's moderate, heading into severe. Paranoid delusions, hallucinations. It's a wild time. And there are times that he's great and times that you're going to get hurt. You know what I mean? You can tell he's on the edge. But problem is, and we found a couple of handguns that were like rusty, gritty. There should be 50 guns or so floating around, at least 30, we think, because he had over 80 and he sold a few. We haven't found them yet. We're not sure if Chuck the Wonder Idiot did something shifty, or if my dad, because dementia, this has been like Treasure Island category around here. We keep finding little caches of important stuff in places where, they shouldn't be. You know what I mean? There are 2 gun safes. They're both very empty. And that's traditionally where one stores guns, because they are gun safes. There is a safe here. It was actually, he had it bolted into the floor originally. And I was helping him in 2023, and, I knew where it was and all that. When we got here, it was pulled out of the floor in the middle of the room open, nothing in it. Which, that could be better, because there are some things. We have found a lot of the things. We're not talking millions or anything like that, but some valuable stuff, Typically everybody has some valuable stuff. No cash, no guns. Which raises the question, did it get stolen? Again, not insinuating, accusing, but I know at least one person that had a lot of access, and their story is a little wibbly wobbly. Or did Dad just really, really hide it well? Like making the 5-year-olds cry on Easter hidden well. It's hard to say. Okay, that's better. Got the other taste out. I mean, back in 2023, just as an example, Mom was in the hospital at that point. She spent the first half of the year in the hospital, and Pix and I were taking care of the bills and trying to manage things. And my mom needed her checkbook. Her checkbook was in her, she's like a fanny pack purse kind of thing. So she sent us here, and we came here, and we're like, Dad, we need the checkbook. It should be in her fanny pack. And we couldn't find it in all the old familiar places. About 2 months later, we found it in a box. My parents stockpile food until it spoils and then keep it a few years longer. I'm the one that usually throws it out because I'm the one that looks at it and goes, oh, this is expired in 2014. There's no point in keeping this, right? And then my dad gets mad at me because we threw out all their food. And it's like, Dad, we threw away stuff that had expired 10, 20 years ago. You actually moved expired food with you from your old house to here. Why? I don't know. Because it doesn't do you any good. But we found the fanny pack in a box that had rice stored in it. Now, the rhyme or reason that we put to it is because it had to do with the checking account, and therefore it had value. My dad saw that we were interested in it and not really doing the math of, my wife needs this to get things taken care of. It was, the kids are here to take my money, so he hid it. But the hiding place didn't really make a lot of sense. So we're worried that there could be a lot of that. Because my parents are hoarders. And that makes any and all treasure hunts rather terrifying, because there's no map and there's no rhyme or reason to where you might find something really important. You know what I mean? Just as an example. And I've started actually going through some stuff out here. So, yeah. Rolling on a field trip. We're going to go into the garage briefly. Working on stuff out here. Like I said, I just really started though. This is coming out. Starting to go through the food that's on the shelf over there. A lot of that I actually organized in 2023 when I was here, which yeah, the shelves look great. I've got 20 plus years of retail management. Of course, the shelves look great. The problem is, I stacked up foodstuffs, and they look really neat, and they've been there since 2023. Y'all doing the math on this? So I've already thrown a lot of it away because a lot of it expired last year, in 2023. Some of it and I remember doing this, some of it was stuff that had just gone past its Best Buy or expired when I did it in early 2023. But like a lot of stuff, canned veg and whatnot, it's still good for, a little while after the Best Buy. You go too far out and then you need to start being concerned. But, if it's 1 month expired and it's canned carrots, it's probably okay. Most likely not going to kill you. It may not be perfectly fresh. Because Best Buy, it's that whole, this is the limit to where they guarantee it's at its peak quality. But then when you start talking 3, 4, 5 years later, is it okay? Possibly. There's some stuff that'll last 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 years past its expiration. But tread carefully and look it up. The website that my wife and I use is stilltasty.com. There are some other ones out there, though. That's just the one that we've kind of latched onto. I've been doing a fair amount of surfing on that, And I found 5 cans of black beans, and I was like, ooh, I'll do some black beans and sausage. And I looked it up, and walking the line as far as their recommendations. So I was like, I'm not going to chance it. I'm already not feeling well. Add some poison to it. Maybe not a good idea. Let's skip that. But yeah, in dealing with the situations around here, the Cardassians left DS9 in better shape. That's on my mind because I've had a Roku TV going in the background. I turned it down for copyright reasons. And currently it's on All Good Things. And I'm wondering if when All Good Things wraps up, if it's going to go to DS9 or if it's going to go back to the original series. I don't know. But because I've seen all the episodes anyway, it's kind of great in the background, going through, shelves and boxes and stuff, and just listening to episodes in the background like a radio station for me. The way they cut their commercials is really odd. It's on Pluto TV. The way they cut their commercials is really quite strange, but is what is. There's a definite lack of working electronics around here, just because my parents are not exactly tech savvy, and they tend to get frustrated and just quit. You could ask for help, but they're going to be independent. Okay. This is where your independence has landed you. So, but yeah, my dad wants to come home really badly, and it's just not going to happen. So I've got Pasco County breathing on me right now because we need to get it sprayed for bed bugs. They are real. And I have interesting new bites and such that I did not ask for. But we've got to get all the fabric out of the house, basically. So again, washing, superheat, drying, superheat, bagging, and right now I'm putting the stuff in my dad's truck because it's an external place. I already sprayed down the interior of the truck with the Adams bed bug spray as a means of just kind of laying down the foundation, make sure we're putting stuff in a place where it's actually not going to just spring right back up. But it's an exterior location that I can lock. Because they've got an SUV too, but we don't know where the keys are for it. So it's just kind of a giant brick in the driveway right now. No keys. No idea. We have a box that we've started with any keys that we find. My dad was changing locks all the time on doors and everything, padlocks, door handles, because the burglar kept getting in. He was trying to best the burglar. This whole property is basically a giant windmill for my dad. But between the bed bug situation and the lanai ceiling, which is being held up by 2x4s. I'll show you that one a little later. We got one major health issue and one major safety issue. Not even counting the hoarding and other issues that basically Pasco County, DCF, and whatnot were like, no, he can't come home, not until this stuff was taken care of. But also the dementia, there's kind of no point to it. You know what I mean? We're done. Sorry, Dad, you're done. It's going to take us 2 months to a year to get this place where it needs to be, to where you could come home, and by then, your dementia, you're already in a bad place. You know, state took away his driver's license. Just the other day, he was like, I'm going to buy a truck. I just want to, you guys can have the house. I just want to get some of my tools together, and I'm going to go, I think, like, buy a farm out in the country and get some horses. Start over. I'm like, Dad, you're not allowed to drive. Well, you know, yeah, I don't know. There's no real cognitive problem solving based on reality going on. Very strange. Brilliant man. Very strange. But yeah, I'm greatly concerned. I'm going to start nagging. It's Sunday, which it's weird in this 24/7 world how impossible it is to still get some things done on the weekend. There are some offices, places that are closed on the weekend still. And it's not really a complaint, it's more of an observation, because we pride ourselves on being such a 365-day world. We're still kind of holding on to that. But I want to get in touch with Billy at the VA, because he cannot find long-term placement fast enough. I has great concerns. My dad's talking about how he's kind of watching the security methods at the place he's at, and he knows where all the alarm boxes are, and he's keeping his eyes open for a screwdriver, maybe in the wild, because he can get a window out, or he can do a lot of things with that. Phillips. It's like, stop, Dad. I want to go home. You can't. Why not? What'd I do? That's a tough question. What'd I do? You can't go home because your brain is broken? I don't know how to answer that one. What, am I in jail? No? Yes? No? And that's the thing about dementia, is they really don't understand that they're broken. We all see it. And they know I know my dad has on occasion told me, kind of a whispering, look, I'm having some memory issues. It's like, I know, Pop, I know. But that's about as far as it goes. That's as much as he will concede. I'm having some memory issues. Oh, doggy, you're having a lot more than that. But you don't see it. You think everybody else is just being unreasonable. It's a weird tightrope, Yeah. So yeah, I'm gonna continue to... Some of these entries are going to be really boring. Just because, I'm going to tell you that I've done some laundry and cleaned some carpet, But I'm trying to maintain something of a schedule, routine of getting these things up. Because again, I know there's one guy on YouTube that I follow who also has a lung condition. He has, a much more serious cystic fibrosis, a much more serious lung condition than I do, pulmonary fibrosis. which the life expectancy on that is a little bit more terrifying. And you can slow it down, work with it, manageable-ish, but you've got to really fight. Got to really fight. But I watch him because even though his diagnosis was a little bit more severe than mine, he's incredibly inspiring. But one of the problems that I've run into is there were a couple of people with emphysema that were doing like vlogs like what I'm doing right now. And I'm like, okay, cool, because I'm trying to figure out what I'm up against, what to expect, all that kind of stuff. And then, a year or two into their videos, because I'm watching, I'm backtracking and watching what they did, 2021 through 2022, and then there's nothing from 22 on. It's like, did you die? What happened? That's not. You can't stop broadcasting with what I know about your situation. That's not okay. Because number one, I'm actually, involved with you now. And secondly, you're scaring me half to death. Because you look like you were doing fine and then suddenly you stopped transmitting. So, I don't know. You know what I mean? And I don't want to be that guy if I can avoid it. Maybe I can inspire people along the way and what have you. I don't know. In my own sort of hermitous existence, but it's what I gotta do, right? I'm the guy with the mop. It's funny, my mom, I said that a few times and my mom resented it. And then I think towards the end she was like, I think she recognized that, oh yeah, we're leaving you with quite a mess, aren't we? Sorry about that, Yes, you are. Apparently I have to buy a headstone too. This is all very new to me. Anyway. I'm going to do some laundry. Then I'm going to clean out a pantry and it'll be exciting. Make it a great day.